Hey guys, we're continuing the look at Rhino's augments as part of Rhino Week. Today we're taking a look at the one for its third ability, and that is Piercing Roar. Now you can pick this mod up in the same places as the other two augments from Steel Meridian or Perrin. Costs 25,000 standing, or it's going to cost you a bit of plat if you aren't max rank or with those syndicates at all, and if you brave the trade chat. The augment, it's super ridiculously simple. Every enemy in a 25 meter range of Rhino will take a puncture proc as soon as you cast Roar. That's as complicated as it gets. The range of the augment is affected by power range mods. The puncture proc, for those that aren't sure, will cause the enemies to be effectively weakened, so they're going to do 30% less damage over 6 seconds. You can stack puncture procs on enemies as well, with their effect multiplying each time. So the build I was using for this test, that's Energy Siphon or Corrosive Projection in the Aura, Power Drift Intensified Transient Fortitude for power strength, Prime Flow for energy storage, Stretch for a bit more range, Streamline and a 2 for the fleeting, although you can go with a max fleeting to drop the duration down even further, Steel Fibre for more Iron Skin health, and then Piercing Roar. The idea behind this was to drop that duration down enough so I could recast the Roar as much as possible, which is why when I look back at it now I would go for a max fleeting just to really drop that duration down. Because that leads me on to whether I think this augment is worth the mod slot it needs to use it, and the answer is God no. The augment's terrible. I'm sorry, but while 30% less damage does sound good, especially at salty levels, the proc itself is not affected by mods whatsoever. This means it's going to run out every 6 seconds. So if you want to keep that 30% less damage reduction up, you're going to have to cast the ability every 6 seconds for the entirety of the mission. It's not cost effective at all because you have Stomp or Iron Shrapnel, which is the other augment, can reduce those enemies' incoming fire by 100% by suspending them in the air or ragdolling them across the room. The thing that hurts the augment the most though is the fact that its Roar isn't recastable anyway. So either you need to drop your duration down to recast more often, which really hurts not only your Stomp but also your Roar, which is a great ability on itself, and so is the Stomp. It's a fantastic crowd control ability on its own, just for that puncture proc every time you cast the ability. The augment is absolutely terrible right now. I honestly think the augment wouldn't be anywhere near as bad if the puncture proc was affected by the base ability. Like for example, the proc lasts for as long as Roar does, and that Roar was recastable in the first place. That would be nice. But this would mean that you could build Rhino for a mobile damage reduction build. You wouldn't need to spam the ability to keep those puncture procs working. 30% doesn't actually sound like a lot of damage reduction, but it multiplies if you think about it when you hit multiple enemies. 30% on a single enemy is actually not that great, but 30% over 10 enemies, 30% on each of those 10 enemies, that's a huge reduction in incoming damage. But as it stands right now, it's simply not worth using. Just save your reputation, get one of the other augments. It's such a waste to use it on this one right now. What do you think though? Maybe you've got a scenario where this mod is more useful than I give it credit for. I personally can't find any situation where I want to use it though. Moving on though, a couple of live stream announcements coming in the next few days. Stay tuned for those. 3 Amigos video just came out earlier, so check that out. And the reinforcing Stomp video comes tomorrow, and the suit up on Friday. Plus, if we get any more of an update tonight, I will see if I get anything to make a video on. However, for now, many thanks for watching. Feel free to hit that like button, sub if you like my content, and I shall see you in the next video.